Now, the ANC is set to finalize a list of 10,000 candidates for local government elections. This ahead of the Independent Electoral Commission's deadline for Monday for the submission of candidate names. And they've also weighed in on the application to postpone the elections. What are they saying? Let's speak to Govan now to find out more. Govan Whittles, just tell us a little bit about what it entails. What exactly happens before candidates are announced?
He certainly has a big task this weekend at this LEST conference, and the selection of candidates for the ward councillor positions and PR councillor positions in the local government elections usually entails a lot of factional contestation between power brokers in the ANC. They're trying to get their people into those positions. That, of course, gives them access to controversial procurement processes, and that's really where the problem has been, and that's what's led to communities rising up in protest against the ANC's selection of its candidates. This time around, we see the former deputy president of the ANC, Kgalema Motlanthe, leading a process to oversee community meetings where these candidates are selected. And what's interesting here is that the ANC has opened itself up to taking candidates who are not ANC members and fielding them as the ANC's candidate and then forcing them to join the ANC and submit themselves to the party's political school. So there are a lot of considerations that the special National Executive Committee meeting, the extended one, is taking this weekend. Let's have a look at what the Deputy Secretary General had to say.
We are expecting to register 10,000 candidates on Monday morning. Our processes right now is that our provincial extended PEC meetings are sitting today to finalize. They go region by region and look at it from the point of view of finalizing one municipality at a time. We then upload that onto the IEC's data system so that by tomorrow night we would be able to have a completed list. The NEC will sit tomorrow and review the list from the point of view of our policies. Gender parity is an important element that we look at. We look at least at 25% of the entire list being made up of a cohort of youth, young people. We look at retention of councillors that have done good work in their communities and in their councils over the last 5 years. So the NEC particularly looks at that. Of course, the other demographic about geography is obvious. People will come from where they come from in their ward. Non-racialism is an important and very vital element of a list for the ANC.
All right, Govan, now, of course, we understand that the IEC has a deadline for Monday, but there's also that application in terms of the elections happening or not.
That's right. The ANC elaborating on what their position is in the IEC's application. It was heard yesterday in the Constitutional Court in front of the Acting Chief Justice and a full bench. It was a really controversial hearings with some pointed arguments being made by both the applicants and those opposing it. The ANC deposed an affidavit supporting the IEC's application to postpone it, and its objection to the election going ahead is centered on its ability to reach its core constituency through its traditional campaigning methods, such as door-to-door campaigning as well as these big rallies. Let's have a look at what Jesse Duarte had to say about this.
We are ready. However, we have put our position to the ConCourt as a friend of the court, in that we thought it would not be wise to ask for a constitutional amendment for a short-term problem, because the long-term reality is that we must have elections every 5 years. We must be able to ensure that our democratic processes are free and fair. And for us, we participated fully in the inquiry by former Deputy Chief Justice Moseneke, and our submission to him was that we believe that we have a very different way of engaging with the constituency. Ours is a direct communication. Our constituency is not as enabled as many others to be on Facebook and Twitter and WhatsApps and many other electronic means we have to communicate directly. We also have to take our manifesto to the communities in the languages that they understand and relate to. So it's not one language, English, that works in the constituency that we serve, and therefore we preferred to be given the opportunity for a longer period of time to do that. The ANC always sets aside a 90-day period of elections, of campaigning. We won't have that. So if the elections, if the Concord does not move the elections, we are ready and will work incredibly hard for the days that are here and now up to the 27th of October.